Hello and welcome to Heroes Hideaway. My name is Genysism, and today I'd like to talk to you about the upcoming Star Trek game, Star Trek Infinite. Announced during the Xbox Showcase presentation on June 11th, and then given a proper gameplay trailer on June 16th, Star Trek Infinite appears to be the first major Star Trek game since Star Trek Online in 2009. Now, while it's true that Star Trek Timelines and Fleet Command released in 2016 and 2018 respectively, these are just throwaway mobile gacha games like so many others. We also had the critically panned and disastrous J.J. Abrams movie tie-in Star Trek from 2013, and the VR novelty Star Trek Bridge Crew in 2017. Now, while the latter could be some fun, it didn't take long for the novelty to wear out. When confirming the years, I also found a handful of mobile games that made such little fanfare I didn't even know they existed. With all this in mind, it feels like there haven't been any notable titles since STO until the recent release of Star Trek Resurgence, which came out a couple months ago. Resurgence is a Telltale-style interactive narrative with some minor action scenes here and there. But while I found the story engaging, it's hard to call it a game when you're experiencing a choose-your-own-adventure movie. Which brings us back to Infinite. Developed by Nimble Giant and published by Paradox Interactive, the game is capitalizing on the previous success of Stellaris. Now, to paraphrase the Wikipedia entry, Stellaris is a 4X grand strategy game developed and published by Paradox Interactive. In Stellaris, players take control of an interstellar civilization as it enters the galactic stage, beginning an adventure to explore, colonize, and manage their region of the galaxy. Along the way, players encounter other civilizations that they can engage in diplomacy, trade, or warfare with. If you've ever played the Civilization games, Stellaris is adjacent to those. Star Trek Infinite specifically calls out the connection between these two games on its own store page, saying that the game, quote, is built upon the core systems of Stellaris, leveraging the deep and complex systems and making them its own. Aspects of these systems have been streamlined and simplified to better resonate with the Star Trek franchise. And now, with all of that background out of the way, let's get into my concerns. Star Trek Infinite looks awful, at least graphically. Now, hear me out. To sidetrack for a second, I love my Nintendo Switch. From Super Mario to the latest Legend of Zelda, I'm used to subpar graphics on aging hardware. While I missed out on Breath of the Wild, I am enjoying the sweeping vistas of Hyrule in Tears of the Kingdom, and usually spend a few rounds a day struggling through Nintendo's awful online service for Smash Bros. Ultimate. These games look as nice as Nintendo games can, but it's no secret that the Switch's graphics will never compare to my high-end PC or even the Xbox One and Series X. So less than perfect graphics are fine with me. I don't need the fancy, lifelike 4K graphics to enjoy a game, as long as the rest of it is enjoyable and properly executed. Take City Skylines with middling graphics backed up by engaging gameplay that can leave me hooked for an unhealthy amount of hours, just over 1200 hours at the time of recording. So why bring up the graphics if I don't care about them? To put it simply, the graphics of this game terrify me because they reek of yet another cheap Star Trek cash grab of a game. When you compare the recommended specs of Stellaris and Infinite, you'll notice that they're almost the same. This is going to get technical for a moment, but I'll do my best to keep it simple. Recommended specs on Steam are usually for the highest graphic settings for a game, and both games list a 3rd generation Intel i5 and NVIDIA GTX 560 Ti for optimal settings. That Intel processor was released in 2012, and that graphics card is even earlier, from Q1 of 2011. Infinite isn't just taking aspects, it's most likely reusing the entire engine used for Stellaris. This means that Infinite will be limited by an aging engine, similar to the complaints of Bethesda's Creation engine, an engine so old, even new games reference the Dragons of Skyrim in their code for various unrelated assets. When I first saw the trailer, I was terrified that the game was going to be just another gacha mobile game from the art style that they used. Now, as best I can tell from the interface, it's definitely a computer-first title, but it looks so cheap that I'm still worried about it. Now, to reiterate, Star Trek Online was released in 2009. Being an MMO, its graphics were subpar even for the time because of the online nature. World of Warcraft has a similar issue while being even older. Now, the developers over at Cryptic have worked to improve aspects like the lighting engine, but overall, the game is still running on the same graphics and underlying engine from 2009. And as much as my taste for it has mellowed over the years, I'll take STO over a garbage freemium gacha title any day. Now, it's clearly very early in the marketing cycle for Infinite, And in the end, I could be completely wrong and it could be an amazing game. And, to be completely honest, I want to be wrong. And I want to say that I worried over nothing while laughing at the past me for all the whining that I'm doing now. So here's hoping. Star Wars has been getting some great games recently, from the new Jedi series to Squadrons from what I hear of it. It's finally time for Paramount to reach into their deep pockets and actually produce a game worthy of the 57-year legacy of Star Trek and its devoted fan base. And that's all I have for now. You can find some reactions to the gameplay trailer over on my channel, Genysism, linked below. I have also linked the videos that we used here, so feel free to check out those creators if you're interested in seeing some more about these games. Also, be sure to follow our social media channels for updates on new videos, and do the YouTube thing so more people can find us. Until next time, live long and prosper.